Hello and welcome to episode number 102 of the Cheesesteaks and Controllers podcast, presented by Fox PHL The Gambler, 102.5 FM, 1480 AM, iHeartRadio. This is Jason Finelli, and I am the esports and video gaming insider for Fox PHL The Gambler, coming at you with a huge weekend approaching on the horizon. TooManyGames Expo 2022 kicks off on Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, running the entire weekend with plenty of video gaming and tabletop gaming goodness to go around. Multiple events to get excited for. I'll be running down my favorites in the second segment, and in the first segment, we'll be talking to a young Fortnite YouTuber who has blown up with his funny raps about Fortnite, specifically about being a fish. No, I'm not kidding. Tiko joins the show to talk about his rise and where he came up with the idea and how he writes his songs, his whole creative process, ahead of his first ever musical performance Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, which will be hosted by yours truly. That's right. I, Jason, will be with Tiko emceeing the event both Saturday and Sunday, both of his panels, 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, noon Eastern, on Sunday. So we'll get into that in the interview just after we do the 6 in 60 seconds. Overwatch League's mid-season madness kicked off last week for the Western Conference, while the Fusion start their Eastern Conference journey Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern versus the LA Valiant. The next League of Legends champion has been unveiled, Nyla, the Joy Unbound, who will enter the game with patch 12.13 on July 13th. Meanwhile, Community Effort Orlando 2022, also known as CEO, the next major fighting game tournament on the schedule, kicks off from Orlando this weekend with tournaments in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Guilty Gear Strive, Tekken 7, and more. Elsewhere, Sega of Europe and Creative Assembly have announced Hyenas, a new competitive shooter where teams compete to steal relics of the past from the rich on Mars. Quite a concept. Nintendo revealed new information on Xenoblade Chronicles 3 in a new Nintendo Direct showcase, including the expansion pass and full amiibo support. And then finally, a new extended gameplay trailer for A Plague Tale Requiem showed 10 minutes of new footage and confirmed an October 18th release date. Those are your 6 in 60 seconds. Yes, folks, those were your 6 in 60 seconds for the week. Nice to see the Fusion getting back on the digital pitch this weekend. By the time this episode goes out, their first match will have already happened, so go check the results and watch the VOD to see if they beat the LA Valiant. I sure hope they did. But they do have one more match, 9 a.m. Saturday against Chengdu, which, if you are listening to the radio version of this, has already happened too. Tee-hee, sorry about that. All right, yes, our first interview of Cheesesteaks and Controllers, episode 102, is admittedly an interview I have never done before. This is uncharted territory for me, for multiple reasons. So, TooManyGames convention coming up this weekend at the Oaks Convention Center up there in Oaks, Pennsylvania. Starts Friday at 2 o'clock, also runs Saturday and Sunday. And one of the headline guests for this event this year is one of the most popular Fortnite YouTubers on the planet. His song Fishy on Me has now, as I'm sitting here recording this, 121 million views and counting. I can't imagine those kind of numbers, but this guy is doing it. 6.69 million subscribers on YouTube. Will be performing his first ever in-person concerts Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, Sunday at noon Eastern, and we are sitting here with him right now. His name is Tiko. Tiko, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing great right now. I'm really excited for this concert. I hope it goes well.
I can't imagine that it won't. I feel like the fans of your channel are just going to appreciate the fact that you're trying it. I mean, it's your first one. If something,
it's my first one, yeah.
Yeah, if something goes a little crazy, they'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Why the heck not? I sure. I mean, you're it may go wrong when your host, your MC, your panel moderator takes the mic and everyone's like, "Who the hell is this?" That's me, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. But so first and foremost, how long had you been playing Fortnite before the idea for this persona? Were you doing YouTube content before you started making Tiko stuff, or was that like always your idea?
So it started like where Tiko was just the name of my YouTube channel, and I posted like Fortnite montages for about a year. And before Fortnite montages, I was making these random IRL videos that I would just post whenever I felt like it. So I did technically do YouTube before the Tiko persona, but in 2020 it shifted from just being a name of a YouTube channel to a whole character and this whole world of other things.
Now, do you edit all these things yourself? You record, you edit, you make the footage, you put it all together, or do you have a team that does that now?
Oh, I wish I could say I edited everything. Unfortunately, the overload of content that I have to record, there is no possible way for me to edit 4 videos a day.
4
and get it
videos
back
a day,
within
my goodness.
24 hours.
So that actually leads to my next question. So what's your daily schedule look like? Like what you're playing 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, and recording the entire time? What's that look like?
So usually, the past couple weeks have been a lot different, just because we've been preparing for the live event, and also I've been in Hawaii, so
that's cool.
I've not had my normal schedule probably for a few months.
On location fish research, was you?
No, yes. Oh, I saw so many fishies. It was great. Oh yeah, that was a fun vacation.
Excellent.
So, I haven't had my normal schedule for a few months, but what I hope for that to usually look like is I wake up. Granted, it's probably going to be pretty late just because I usually end up staying up pretty late. Fair. So if I get to bed by 3 a.m., I'll probably be up by 12, maybe 1, which I know sounds horrible. But
horrible? That sounds like the dream.
Waking up at 12 or 1?
Yes, I get up at 6 a.m. now. I remember those days when I used to wake up at 11 or 12, man. Play games all night. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, but do you still stay up late?
Midnight. Yeah.
Oh, midnight? Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, 6 hours of sleep. I guess usually they say teenagers need more just because we're growing. So
enjoy it now, man. Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah. So I'll wake up. I'll get some coffee. That's the number one most important thing. Is I gotta get my coffee. I love coffee so much. And then after my coffee, I'll go up to my computer, or I'll go back in my bed and lay on my phone, go on Twitter, respond to all my messages, and then that's usually when I start figuring out like my schedule for the day, where I sort of plan, because unfortunately, it's not very reliable to like get a group of people for a video and then just like have that scheduled like days in advance. That doesn't usually play through, and I gotta kind of message people last minute. That's just the easiest way to do it and the most reliable, because then I'm like, they tell me, yeah, I can 100% do it right now. So I figure out what I'm gonna do for my video, I record, and then I figure out the next video, I record, then I'll eat lunch, and then it's just sort of like there's usually some other things I have to get done, so I'll just sort of do those as well after I do my videos and everything.
Now, do you generate that much content because you like to generate that much content, or do you feel you have to, thanks to the way that the YouTube algorithm works?
Well, I like to get ahead on videos just because I think it makes it less stressful. So if I have the opportunity to record multiple videos, I 100% will. And usually I can't really see why I wouldn't be able to make multiple videos. Unless it's like I'm doing one big video. So there are a few days where I only make one video, and then there's even some days where I don't make any videos, but it's fine because I'm usually recording multiple videos every day. I'm able to get ahead.
That makes sense. That way you always have one in the bank, and I feel like that offers a little more freedom too, right? You're not sitting there, you're not stressing like, oh my gosh, I have to think of something now. You're like, if something comes to mind, I got 5 in the bank. If nothing comes to mind today, we're good. I like that process. That's a smart way to do it. Do you live stream in there too, or are you strictly pre-recorded YouTube videos?
I used to stream a lot. Now I stream pretty much only when there's a special event in Fortnite. So
Okay.
like I stream the new season, the new chapter, but just in general, I do not really stream that much. I'm gonna start though, most likely.
Okay. Oh, so you streamed like Collision when that happened a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago. Okay, that makes sense. Cool.
Yeah.
So let's get into the musical aspect of this, since this is your first live concert. Walk me back to the first time you ever made a song, right?
Yep.
Where did that idea come from? Are you just kind of sitting there like, I have this song in my head, let's make it? Or was it always going to be Fish Stick? Why Fish Stick? Tiko, I have so many questions. I'm just curious where the creative process came from.
Well, why Fish Stick? The answer to that is quite literally, it was a coincidence.
Okay.
My first video that went viral, I just happened to be wearing Fish Stick skin, and that was the one with the voice changer. And so immediately from the start, when I started getting traction for Tiko, I was getting all the attention pulled towards the fish skin and my voice being a little combo, like an all-in-one package. You get the whole shampoo bottle, everything, all in one. But everyone just assumed that the fish stick was me as well. And so one day in one of my videos with a fellow YouTuber friend, I rapped in the video a little bit as a joke. It wasn't even serious. And I got a lot of comments telling me, oh, you should make like a rap, like you should make a song. And so because of that, my original idea for a song was a rap song. And I was like, okay. So I very quickly put together, in like no effort at all, just supposed to be a meme, just a joke, not even a real song, made this song called Fishy Can't Live Without Water. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there you go. That should explain itself. But that song was horrible. It was so bad. Like, I could not listen to it. I've not listened to it for. I actually have not listened to that for probably over a year, and I can't say I regret it. Nope. And then after that one, it did really good. I said 30,000 likes in 24 hours for another song, and I believe it got like 50,000 or something. Like, it was insane. It absolutely blew up. And so I was like, all right, guess I have to make another song. So again, not thinking it's that serious, I very quickly put together a song that was known as Fishy on Me. And that one really took off. That's when I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I could take the music a little bit more serious, like it's actually going somewhere. I can do something with this. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
121 million views later, I would say so. Did you expect that song to be as popular? I mean, obviously, because the first one was a bit of a hit, you expected some sort of traction, but
yeah,
this level of popularity, were you surprised by that?
I think what really surprised me was the longevity of it. Like, it's still, to this day, a pretty big song. And back then, it really blew up, and that's what surprised me, is like how long it stayed something that people are interested in.
Sure.
I think that's really interesting.
Yeah. Do you have a reason as to why that might be? Do you think it's just because of the funny lyrics? Do you think it's just because of your voice, the combination of both, the fact that it's fish stick on the screen? There are many different reasons why I can think of it. It has such popularity even now. Would you agree with that, or is there another reason that I'm not thinking of?
Yeah, no, I definitely think the whole, like, it's about a fish. It's got a cute little voice. I just feel like to a lot of people, it's just a really lovable song, and so they go back, and then people tell their friends, and it's also whether we want to accept it or not, it's a meme.
Sure is.
It's not really a real song. It's a meme. So it's going to be funny to a lot of people. And usually, like, when you're on TikTok or you just see something funny, you show friends. You're like, hey, look at this. So a lot of people, they continuously show new people, hey, look at this song. Like, it's funny. Like, it's about a fish.
Yeah.
And then so, over time, like, it just helps. They grow my fan base for me.
Yeah. Now, I guess to that end, the fact that you don't take it seriously and you're just having a good time might be part of it, too.
At least not in that song. I do now. I do take it a lot seriously now.
So that actually comes to my my next question. Do you have a songwriting process? You mentioned earlier that you have an idea for a video, you record it, and then you move on. When it comes to songwriting or song creation, do you like sit down and try and think of ideas, or does something strike you and you're like, I need to write this song right now?
So I've really had two ways that my songs kind of come to live, and they're both not super different. But the first one is just I have a melody or some lyrics in my head, and I just like the little hook, and so I'll make an entire song based off that. Either my producer will send me a very light instrumental beat just for me to sort of lay vocals over, and then we'll add more instruments as we go over time. And usually what I'll do is I'll like use my voice changer in the program and hum out how I want instruments to go, like little melodies and stuff.
Oh,
and then he is super, super talented. He's brought a lot of the songs to life. He's pretty much done, I'd say, 80% of the music that I have out. Cool. And he's just great. I love him so much. He does such a good job.
Now, did you have a music background? Did you do any music things in high school or
Nope.
No.
I guess okay. If you want to count cello, I did play the cello in orchestra for through 6th grade through like 9th grade.
Yeah, that would count. At least teaches you the basics of how music is structured. So absolutely, that would count. And now, hearing this, I expect you to play the cello in your next song.
I actually, surprisingly enough, I do have violin and cello in my next song.
Oh, there you go. See? Yeah. Will that song by chance be debuting this weekend?
No, unfortunately, will not.
Okay. I tried. What is your favorite song of yours? Do you have one? Obviously, you're going to put Fishy on Me on a pedestal because it's your most popular one. But is there one?
Oh, no, don't worry. That does not give it any slack. No.
Oh, no.
No way.
Oh,
no. No. Look, I love the song for what it's done for me, but I can happily say I think it is probably one of my worst songs.
Really?
I get it. It's catchy. It's just, honestly, it's just the production quality, because I made it by finding a free beat on YouTube and clicking record on OBS, which is just a screen recording software.
Yep.
And then freestyling not only the lyrics, but how I sang the song, and literally not cutting it up and posting the first take. And that was the song. And then, obviously later, like, I got exclusive rights to the beat and everything. Once it started blowing up, I was like, oh, wait. So, that was obviously a bad move for me to wait until after I posted it to try and get exclusive rights. But I didn't think it was going to do so good.
No.
I was just like, oh, I'm just going to post it as a meme, like, not really think much of it. And now I'm like, oh, wait, no, I need to own this song. Like,
yes.
It's got to be mine. Like,
yes.
I'm missing out.
I mean, that's how it happens, right? That's how all your videos, that's how your whole creative process is. You just put it out, don't think too much about it, and then when it blows up, it blows up. That's awesome. That's the way it should be. Because you never know when you're going to hit pay dirt, so don't stress about it, and the pay dirt you'll eventually hit. Fishy on Me. There it is. Before we get out of here, we are coming up on time, so I just want to ask how you're feeling going into your first ever live performance. Will you be using the voice modulator? Will we be hearing this voice, or will we be hearing the Tiko voice? What's going? Lay a little bit as to what we can expect.
Okay, so I wouldn't say that I'm nervous, but I'm definitely feeling a little anxious about everything. I'm very excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to do it. I feel like it's going to be very relieving once it's over with, just because this being my first live performance, there's definitely a lot of extra tension that wouldn't be there for, say, someone who's done multiple, or for me if I do more in the future. So this one's really going to be the breakout for me out of my comfort zone. And you're actually going to be hearing not only this voice,
but you gonna get a little Tiko as well.
There it is. We got a little Tiko on the Cheesesteaks and Controllers invaded by a fish. That's awesome. Fantastic stuff. So we are talking 3 p.m. Saturday, the first panel, noon on Sunday, the second panel, the first ever live performances from Tiko and his little fishy friends. Hosted by me, emceed by me. I will see you on stage there. Very much looking forward to it. Tiko, thank you for your time, and I will see you this weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
Coming up after the break, we'll talk more about Too Many Games, including the events that I'm looking the most forward to throughout the weekend. Stick around. All right, welcome back to Cheesesteaks and Controllers, episode number 102. Thank you so much to Tiko for stopping by the show. Very excited for his concert this weekend. Concerts, I should say, is having two. Look for him, and for a little while, look for me up on stage while he does his thing, and I host and moderate. Very excited for the opportunity. I want to say thank you to TooManyGames for that opportunity. And also, let's talk about the convention itself. There is a lot going on this weekend in the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center up there in Oaks. I have a list here of the things that I am most excited for, things I would like to see the most. So if any of these pique your interest, or if any of these things are things that you want to do, get your tickets at TooManyGames.com and get yourself up there as soon as you can. First and foremost, the one thing other than Tiko's concert, obviously, that I am the most excited for, blew me away last year in October when that came back, when TooManyGames came back for the first time. That is Cosplay Pro Wrestling, a full 2-hour wrestling event with indie wrestlers dressed as video game, comic book characters. It is amazing. Last year, like I said, I went in October on Saturday. I was able to check out a couple of matches. Granted, most of the time the matchups don't make a ton of sense. Like there was Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat versus Waluigi, Nintendo's evil Luigi. There was an intergender match between Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy VII and Deku from the anime My Hero Academia. So it doesn't entirely make sense all the time, but some of them do. They had a Little Mac versus a Balrog from Street Fighter. Both are boxers. That made sense. The very first match was Miles Morales and Black Panther versus Aquaman, and I can't remember the fourth one, but it was Marvel versus DC tag match. And I remember Black Panther and Miles Morales being very good. The Miles Morales in particular was hopping all over the place. It was great. There also was a vignette where like Giovanni from Team Rocket came out, and he was like a super heel cutting a promo on the crowd or whatever. He had a guy with him dressed like he had like a mask on and dreads and all that. And his name was Coughing Kingston, a play on Kofi Kingston and Coffee from Pokemon. It's great. It's silliness, and it's the best, and I absolutely love it. If you're up there, last year, it was kind of tucked in a corner because last year they didn't have the entire convention hall to themselves. This year they do. So Cosplay Pro Wrestling gets its own space. They can thrive. They can do whatever they want. They're not like stuck in a corner next to the Retromania Wrestling booth. Go check that out if you are going to TooManyGames. It is awesome. I'm hoping to catch some myself if I can. Not sure if that's going to happen, but we'll see. I highly, highly recommend it. It's going to be super cool. Next up is the marketplace. I could not believe how much stuff was in that marketplace last year. Games on games on games. Anything you could possibly imagine was most likely in there. Obviously, the rarest and the most high-ticket items are going to be high-ticket money. So some of the price tags that you'll see will make your eyes bug out of your head. But it is inevitable that you will find some sort of hidden gem while you're searching through there. Most likely in the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, or Sega Genesis era of games. Definitely a lot of stuff to take stock of, and a lot of vendors to check out. So if you're going, bring some money. I would highly recommend that you bring some cash. I think most of them do take like Square or cards, though, or even Venmo. So you will have opportunities to pay digitally if need be. But be ready, because there is a ton of stuff that will be at this year's show. Next up is an awesome indie game showcase. They have a huge area where you can just chill and play some up-and-coming indie games from various studios, both locally and abroad. So this year, they're going to have games from studios like Retrosoft. So Retromania Wrestling's new update will be there. Boba Studios, Cheap Ramen, In the Snow. There's a whole list of indie studios that will have games for you to try out. Plus, we'll tell you where you can get them and stuff like that. And you'll be voting throughout the weekend own your favorite games that you play at this showcase, and those winners, those games will get a nice little bonus. I think it's $500 first prize for the top game. So it's another cool way to incentivize local indie developers. It's not very often that you get to directly support an indie developer like that just by saying that you like their game. So if enough people vote for the really good one, you'll get $500 in their pocket, which is always a good thing. Also, if you're done checking out the marketplace, or you just want to chill and play some games or whatever, there are two ways to do that. If you're an old school arcade gamer, there is a massive arcade with a frankly amazing list of games that will be in this arcade, all listed on the TooManyGames website. We're talking like multiple fighting games, NBA Jam, the classics like Donkey Kong and Galaga and Ghosts and Goblins and that stuff. Some more obscure stuff like Clax and Magic Sword. Anything you can imagine. 4-player Simpsons, always a good time. 4-player X-Men as well. That's very cool. So nice arcade for you to go in and chill. And it's not arcade one-up machines. No offense to arcade one-up machines. I have two. I love them. But these are, old school, original arcade cabs that you can go in and play as you're chilling out at the convention. But also, if you're more of a tabletop gamer or a board gamer, they do have a board game free play area as well, where you can bring your own games, or they will have a library of games that you can check out. They partnered with Dicey Situations, a local hobby shop, another a board game event game planner and hobby shop, I believe. I could be wrong about that. But they'll have multiple games for you to check out, some of which are some of the most popular board games out there right now. Betrayal at House of the Hill is there. Disney Villainous is there. King of Tokyo is there. And then there's more, the more classic games like Scrabble and Jenga and Monopoly. They'll all be there too. But if you really want to use this as an opportunity to check out the proper hobby, like get past the classic board games and check out something new, great way to do it. I remember last year I was looking at their library and I was introduced to a game called Whitehall Mystery that I then looked up on YouTube through a fantastic board game YouTube channel called No Rolls Barred, which is a great name. They're all wrestling. It's an offshoot of a wrestling YouTube channel. They did a full deep dive on Whitehall Mystery, and now I want to buy it for myself. And if it's there this weekend, maybe I will. Because the vendors sell board games too. So again, bring your wallet. If you want to play some board games, you can check that out too. But there are also tournaments and demos happening in some board games if you want to see how they work. There will be tournaments in Coup and King of Tokyo on Friday, as well as demos in games like Annapurna and Overboss and Race to Stupid, which is just a great name. You'll have a tournament in Wingspan at 4 o'clock on Saturday, as well as Classic at 2 o'clock and Sellouts at 6:30, plus demos of Heart of Crown, Cascadia, Snack Attack, and more. And then Sunday, because of the limited hours, there's not quite as much, but you'll still have a tournament in 5 Minute Dungeon, and then demos in Mission to Planet Hex, Chemical Overload, and more. So board game, tabletop gamers, you are very much well represented here as well. Also, as kind of an offshoot of that, collectible card game tournaments will be happening, sticking to tabletop. So you'll have Magic, you'll have Yu-Gi-Oh!, you'll have Pokemon, I believe, as for free play, because there will be tables for free players. And then there will be actual tournaments in Magic the Gathering, Dragon Ball Super, Digimon, and Yu-Gi-Oh! So if you play any of those games, there will be things for you to do. In fact, there will be some drafts in New Capenna, the set New Capenna with $15 entry fees. You get 5 packs for winning, which is a 3-0. Oh, sorry, if you go 3-0, you get 5 packs. 2-1, you get 3 packs. Everybody else gets a free pack just for paying the $15 entry fee, plus whatever you draft in the game. So plenty of stuff to do there as well for the collectible card gamers. And then finally, of course, there will be competitions in actual video games. Brawlhalla is having a free entry tournament on Sunday, $500 pot bonus there, hosted by Smashadelphia, which is powered by Metro Esports. Fortnite is having theirs on Saturday, $500 prize pool, again, Smashadelphia. And then a Super Smash Bros. Tournament Friday night, all weekend long, with a $1,000 pot bonus there. So Smash Brothers, Brawlhalla, Fortnite players, come check it out. If you're into cosplay, there is a cosplay contest hosted by a Magic Gathering content creator named Lady Levinus. And then, speaking of Lady Levinus, there are guests. Plenty of guests to meet this year. An excellent lineup of people that you will recognize, even if you don't think that you do. Ones that I am excited for are Master Daniel Pacina, who is a martial artist and motion capture artist and actor, whatever you want to call it, who played the original Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat 1 way back in the day. He was the guy in the black pants with the red belt on the screen. Whenever you pick Johnny Cage, he's the guy that played him. So he's going to be there, which is very, very cool. Tiko is going to be there signing autographs and meeting people. There's all kinds of James Rolfe, the Angry Video Game Nerd, Scott the Woz and his friends, Miss Click, who I have watched a couple times, Warhorse, professional wrestler Warhorse will be there. There's a whole list, again, on the website, on the guests page of who will be there. It's a pretty impressive list of who you can meet and how much they're charging for autographs and selfies should you want one with these people. So as you can see, there's a ton to do here at TooManyGames. You'll have the entire weekend to do so. Feel free to walk around and check it out and see what you want to do. Now, you might think that this is, sponsored content. Like they're paying me to do this. They are not. I'm just doing this because I love game conventions. I love this game convention, and I think the gamers in the area who have never tried it out would have a good time. I think it's a fun, safe environment. They make sure to take care of all the people who go in there, and there's so much to do that even like gamers who are just casual players of maybe video games but more into board games, they're taken care of, and so on and so on. It's just a really cool event that I think most people in the geek culture realm will enjoy, so I recommend that you check it out this weekend up there in Oaks, Pennsylvania. Coming up after the break, Summer Games Done Quick 2022 kicks off on Sunday, and I will share the 10 speedruns I am most looking forward to. Stick around. All right, welcome back to Cheesesteaks and Controllers, episode number 102. Going into the final segment here, let's talk about Summer Games Done Quick 2022. The annual, I guess biannual, maybe triannual, depending on what you're looking at. Speedrunning Marathon for Charity returns. The summertime version returns this Sunday, the 26th, with a full week's worth of video game speedrunning craziness, and I do mean a full week's worth. They start at 12:30 p.m. on Sunday, and they do not stop until whenever the final run is done, most likely in the twilight of July 3rd. So they will go the entire week, not stopping, and for the first time post-COVID, they will be live in their normal spot in Bloomington, Minnesota, just outside of the Mall of America. So all of these runs will happen in front of a live audience, which is very, very exciting. I've liked the ones that they've had in past years, since the pandemic began, but nothing beats the live speed runs. Go back into the Games Done Quick YouTube page, find like SGDQ 2018 and AGDQ 2019. They're just electric. The crowds are great. The games being played are great. It's just a lot of fun. It is a ton of fun. I recommend you check it out. If you're going to be watching this weekend, like I said, there are a ton of runs to look out for, all while donating to Doctors Without Borders. If you have some extra money and you want to donate to the cause, the reason they are doing this is for Doctors Without Borders. You can just go to their website, gamesdonequick.com. There will be not only a schedule of everything that they're doing, but also a donate button where you can donate to the cause and perhaps win one of the great prizes that they show throughout the marathon that are up for grabs with your donations. Like if you reach a certain plateau or during a certain block, or if you reach a certain plateau for the entire event, you are entered to win one of the prizes that you see. Very, very cool way of raising money. They traditionally raise multiple millions. I believe their all-time record is 3.2 million, I want to say. Something way up there. So it's definitely an event worth checking out. I have listed 10... It's kind of cheating, but it's more than 10, but I'll explain when we get there. 10 instances, 10 events, 10 runs, whatever you want to call it, that I am most excited for going through the schedule. I'm excited for all of them, don't get me wrong. You'd be surprised how many times I've watched this marathon and found a run that I thought, this is going to be, weak. I'm not going to really like it. It's just going to be background noise. And it ends up being one of the most riveting runs of the week. So it happens all the time. But I picked 10 that I am the most excited for, that I am looking forward to the most, and I will go through them right now, when they're happening, who's running them, so on and so forth. Again, all of this can be found on gamesdonequick.com/schedule for everything that's happening and going on, and then you can watch at twitch.tv/gamesdonequick or at gamesdonequick.com. It'll bring you right to the Twitch station. The Twitch channel, will be on their main page. So the first one that I'm most looking forward to is right on Sunday, currently scheduled for 9:13 p.m., and that's Pokemon Snap on the Nintendo 64. This was a treasured game of mine back in the day, much as it was for most people. I think a lot of people were loved that game for what it was. I have not played New Snap yet. I hear it's very good. Have not dug into that game yet. But what makes this exciting is they're going for maximum points, 250k points. The runner's name is Quo, and he will be commentated by a man named, or by a person named Kung Fu Fruit Cup, which is a great name. Just want to put that out there. A 35-minute par, which means they'll do what they need to do within 35 minutes. And more importantly, it's a bonus game. Now, if you're not familiar with the Games Done Quick Marathon, a bonus game is something that needs to be earned through total donations. So they'll say, if everybody donates $100,000 total in the first 9 hours of this marathon, we'll add this game to the list. That sort of thing. So Pokemon Snap is the first bonus game, 250,000 points in 35 minutes or less, or your pizza's free. No, I'm joking. And it's going to be one that we're going to have to earn. So I'm bringing it to your attention so you make sure that if you're going to donate and you want to see that game, get in early, donate early, and make sure we can see Pokemon Snap on Sunday. Next up is a Monday run. Earlier, 7:41 in the morning, currently scheduled. Now, these times do differ based on if people go over par or if people are under par. Sometimes they happen before the schedule says they're going to happen. It actually happens more often than not. This one always blows my mind. Every single speed run I see of it, I can't believe that a game this notorious for being this difficult is able to be torn up like this. But the Retro Runner at 7:41 a.m. on Monday is running the original Ninja Gaiden on the Super Nintendo. The original Nintendo in 15 minutes or less. That is incredible. I don't think I can get through 3 stages in 15 minutes, and this person is going to run through the entire game in the time it takes me to make a sandwich, sit down, and start eating. So I want to see the tricks they're employing. I want to see what they're doing that maybe I could copy. It's not a lot. They use any percent run like this, meaning that you don't have to get 100% completion. You just have to get from start of game to end credits. There could be glitches that they employ and stuff like that. I love when they break games sometimes in these runs. It's just really cool to see. So Ninja Gaiden, 7:41 a.m. Monday, currently scheduled. Definitely one that I am looking into. One of the things that fascinates me most about these speedrun marathons, one happens traditionally in in June. One happens traditionally in January, or June-July, I guess you could say. One in January, and then there's usually one around TwitchCon in November. Those are the big ones. So you have Awesome Games Done Quick, Summer Games Done Quick, and GDQX happens at the TwitchCon. And at these events, there's always games that are newer, like within the last 12 months or so, sometimes even more recent, that people have already dissected and have, torn apart to a point where they can finish a game that takes most people 10 hours, 11 hours in an hour and a half. And this one is an example. It is actually also a bonus game. It's the second bonus game of the show, so it will have to be earned by your donations, but I hope that you do that, because Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, which just came out in December, is already on the docket. They're going to go for every ending in the game. They're going to do it without using any out-of-bounds glitches where you can walk outside of the walls of the game, and they're going to do it in an hour and 20 minutes. That blows my mind. It blows my mind. I don't know how they do it. I can't wait to see this game just get torn apart by Ace Delusional is the name of the runner. Please, please, please show me all of the secrets, all of the things. I can't wait to check that out. Again, I just love it. I love how they're able to tear through these games so fast. I don't know how they do it. Another big thing with these marathons are the blocks. Sometimes you'll get themed blocks of 3 or 4 straight games from one franchise or starring one particular character from multiple franchises. Could be RPG block, could be, all kinds of stuff. This particular block that I am most excited for, starting Tuesday at 12:02 p.m. tentatively, is a Mega Man block. 4 Mega Man games on the docket between 12:02 p.m. and 2:36 p.m. start times. Mega Man Powered Up, which was a PlayStation Portable a remaster, remake, whatever you want to call it, of the original Mega Man game. That will be played on PSTV, which is an interesting format. That'll be fun to watch. That's within 36 minutes by a runner named White Hat 94. Next is Mega Man X versus Mega Man X Extreme 2 in 40 minutes, 100% extreme mode by Focus Sight. If I remember correctly, that means they're going to run through both of those games in less than 40 minutes at 100% completion rate. That's nuts. Then we have Mega Man The Wily Wars, which is Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 3 on the Genesis. Looks like the Blacktastic is going to try and take both of those on under 35 minutes. And then finally at 2:36, Mega Man 5, any percent run by Peapot.1, less than 40 minutes. So Mega Man classic franchise, one of my favorites of all time, and 4, although technically 6 games are going to get crushed on Tuesday afternoon. So if you want to see how that works, check it out. Later on Tuesday, this is another one that I have my eye on. Again, it's the third bonus game of the tournament of the week. It's the third game we're going to have to earn, but this one is going to be one that I think ends up being one of the coolest, most intriguing runs of the entire event, should it be earned. That is a virtual reality speed run, Half-Life Alyx, all inbounds, in 50 minutes or less. Half-Life Alyx, probably one of the premier virtual reality games in existence at the moment. It's only out for a couple of headsets, but anyone who's played it thinks it's incredible. One of the best uses of VR that there is. And the fact that this person is going to tear through that game in less than an hour has me very excited, especially since I know how that game ends, and it's quite the mind blow. So, again, we talked about newer games. This is actually a new platform in Half-Life in VR. That's going to be very, very cool. Keep an eye on that one. And if you need a good lead-in, it follows a Halo Infinite speedrun, where they go through the entire campaign of Halo Infinite in an hour and 25 minutes, and they don't use the hidden tank gun. So take that for what you will. That should be a fun 1-2 punch on Tuesday night. Next up, again, with the newer games, as I mentioned before, the newer, the better. This one just came out in March. Not even 4 months old. And speedrunners are going to tear it to shreds. Sunny Muffin is going to play through Tunic in 40 minutes or less Wednesday afternoon at 1:22. And this is a game that just sits on my backlog and mocks me. I want to play this game so much. It just seems right up my alley. I just cannot find the time to sit down and do it, and it's killing me. So hopefully soon I'll be able to see what Tunic is all about. But during Summer Games Done Quick, I'll be able to see what Tunic is all about. Just don't blink or else you'll miss some of it, a big portion of it. Any percent run within 40 minutes. Sunny Muffin, looking forward to that one. Can't wait. Next up, we have another indie darling. This one's a little bit older. I have played this one. It is one of the coolest platforming games to come out in quite some time. It is Celeste. So it's shockingly difficult, but also very, very good. The story is well told. It's worth the difficulty. Like, if you power through, you're going to be rewarded for it. It's an ingenious way of using like dashes and multiple jumps, and it's platforming. It's just so cool. And Gross Hyken, which I believe is how you pronounce that, in 1 hour and 3 minutes or less is going to get us the true ending, the top ending of Celeste, which requires some extra little side quests while you're playing through the game. There's one scene in Celeste in particular that gets me every single time. I'm not going to spoil it in case you haven't played it, but it's definitely one worth checking out. And it's approaching, if not already at, its 5-year anniversary. It's already been out for 5 years already, I think. Pretty sure it was 2017. But yeah, that's definitely one to keep an eye on, Celeste. Very, very good game. Next one, coming up to the last 3 here. Another classic game from my childhood getting torn to shreds, this time from the Super Nintendo, but with a twist. So sometimes these runs, they'll play a game that you know, but they'll do it in a way that's not quite how you remember it. So for example, later on Friday, not the one I'm talking about now at 3:53 p.m., but a little bit later at 5:38, there is what's called a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time randomizer, which when you're playing through the game where you would get key items, it randomizes what key items you get. So you may get something that will allow you to get to the end of the game and in the very beginning. It's a weird way that randomizers work. And this one is called Co-op 5 Dungeon Sanity. I have no idea what that means, but it sounds like it's going to be something very cool. But the one I am actually looking forward to, I'm looking forward to that too, but the one I want to mention here is a couple hours earlier, 3:53 p.m., Donkey Kong Country in reverse boss order in 35 minutes or less by a runner named Tonkatsu. So they're going to start with King K. Rool at the end of the game, and they're going to end with the Buzzard in the very first stage. That to me is fascinating. Now, are they just going to do a boss rush? Are they going to play through the entire game in reverse order? That I don't know. I think it sounds like just a boss rush if it's 35 minutes. They play through the entire game in reverse in 35. Hoy, that would be quite a feat. But it sounds like it's just going to be boss order, reverse boss order, just bosses. Either way, excited to see this unique take on a classic game. I hope it turns out very, very cool. Next up is a hallmark of Games Done Quick marathons, usually Saturday night. It's like one of the last things they do, usually. It used to be called Kaizo, which is a term for like that speedrunners use to talk about games where they're customized worlds. Like, for example, Super Mario World had a Kaizo version where the difficulty was amped to 10,000, and people would make stages that if you didn't jump at the precise time at that precise moment, you would die. So while there is a Kaizo happening, Kaizo Super Metroid, the people who make Kaizo stuff, or who made Kaizo stuff, have kind of moved on to Super Mario Maker. So now at 8:31 on Saturday night, July the 2nd, Super Mario Maker 2 will have a relay race between two teams of three, including probably one of the most famous speedrunners there is in Grand Pooh Bear, then also Pangaea Panga, Carl Sagan 42, Arator, Shoju, and Tanuki Dan, playing through these maniacal Super Mario Maker 2 courses as fast as they can. It's always a riot. It's always a ton of fun. And it's one that I highly recommend that you check out if you're checking out the marathon at the end of the show, Saturday night. Good Saturday night viewing if it's just if it's a lazy Saturday night in, or if it's a bad weather outside, you're not doing anything. Put this on. You will laugh. You will laugh and laugh. It's going to be hysterical. I can't wait. And then the last one on my list is the last one, obviously, because they put it at the end to be the main event. Of course they do. Right now, currently slated for 12:21 a.m. on Sunday, July the 3rd. I imagine that will be moved up as other runs come under par. Elden Ring, the likely 2022 Game of the Year across the board. One of the most impactful games ever. Has two runs on the table. The first one is an All Remembrances run, which is a fancy way of saying they're going to beat all the bosses. By a guy named Cattle Z. He's going to do that in under 2 hours. All of the bosses in under 2 hours of a game that just came out in February. I can't wrap my head around it. And then the final bonus game of the marathon, I was talking about bonus games earlier. Bonus game 9 is Elden Ring again, but another runner comes in named Hypersomniac, and he's going to beat the game any percent, meaning just as much progress as he needs to finish the game, in less than 33 minutes. We're talking about a game that some people can't finish for the life of them, and he's going to beat it around a half an hour. That is absurd. I can't believe they're going to show this. I mean, I can believe they're going to show this. I can't believe it's already been figured out. I'm so looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to all the runs, like I said, but these 10 in this list here, they're the ones that I am most excited for, or I have my eye on the most, and you should check those out as well. GamesDoneQuick.com, like I said, go hit the donate button on that page to donate to Doctors Without Borders throughout the week. Watch it right there on their website, or go to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick and make sure that you see as much speedrunning craziness as there is. Oh, and before I forget, GamesDoneQuick.com/schedule so you can see what's coming up as the week goes on. And with that, we are at the end of Cheesesteaks and Controllers in episode number 102. Once again, at the very end of another fantastic episode. My name is Jason Finelli, and I'm the Esports and Gaming Insider for Fox PHL The Gambler, 102.5 FM, 1480 AM, iHeartRadio, Philadelphia. If you are listening to this voice right now, you have reached the end of the episode, and as always, as I always say, I am very appreciative of the fact that you have done so, the fact that you stuck around for an hour to hear about video games and conventions and speedruns and Tiko and all that stuff. Means the world to me. And I hope that you were entertained. I hope that you were educated. Or at the very least, I hope it was good background noise for you. Thanks very much to Tiko for coming on, telling me about his path to the top. Looking forward to his concert on Saturday and seeing what he's got as far as live is concerned. And I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you have an even better week right behind it. And I will be back again next week bringing you the best in video games and esports, as I always do. Goodbye.